Hey everyone, it's Crash Knife Fight, and I might be a little bit late, but I wanted to talk about yesterday's Battlefront 2 community transmission and some of the surprises announced. I mentioned this in a previous video. If you told me a year ago that we would be getting new BF2 content this far beyond the initial launch, I probably would have asked you how long you've been eating paint chips. Above and beyond anything else, the announcement of more content coming all the way into the fall is pretty good evidence that the game still has some traction and a decent player base. Anyhow, let's talk a little bit about what's in the future for BF2. So let's start with what most would consider the biggest news from the CT. We are finally getting Droidekas. No grainy zoomed in images, no clickbait and speculation by YouTubers. It's official. Straight from EA, Droidekas will be included as a new Enforcer class at the end of June. And I couldn't be happier. It's great news. A lot of fans have been requesting this for a long time. However, I also wonder if the kerfuffle over the speculation last year motivated EA and DICE to go ahead and include them. Anyhow, checking out the specs for the new reinforcement class, it looks like the Droidekas will work just as expected. They can fold up and roll, use a shield when deployed for attack, and include an overload like the other enforcers. No real surprises here, and if it all works as advertised, I think we're going to have a lot of happy players. I'm curious about the shield for one. I'm wondering if it's going to be vulnerable to ion weapons. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. What I found a little odd was rather than a counterpart in the form of an enforcer for the clones, we were getting a new vehicle, the TX-130. I'm a little disappointed here, actually. Certainly the clones could use a tank, and this version has some similar abilities to the droid's AAT. But it would be nice to see some type of clone enforcer. All we have now in the form of enforcers for the light side are the Wookiee warriors. This seemed like the perfect opportunity to introduce something new. EA and DICE would have to dig a little deeper into the source material, but there are certainly some good candidates. For example, the clone Flame Trooper would be great, and all the abilities are already in the game. I also have to question the balancing. It would seem that the droid army will now have twice the number of enforcers available. Are we going to see half the team running around as Droidekas and super battle droids now? That could cause some problems. Again though, we're going to have to wait and see. So let's move on to some of the other news from the CT. As expected, we are also getting a new Capital Supremacy map, this time on Naboo. According to the transmission, we can expect to see a different look to Naboo. The map will be set at dusk, and the streets will show signs of previous battles. I'm not jumping out of my seat for this, but it does sound interesting. What I would like to see, and I'm not holding my breath, but it would be cool if the map had some different boundaries, allowing players to explore some new areas of Naboo. On the bright side, another CS location adds some variety to the map rotation, and that's always a good thing. In addition to the Droidekas, the clone tank, and the CS map, we are getting some new appearances. Not surprised to see Anakin's clone general appearance make it into the game, particularly since we have that outfit for Obi-Wan. Alongside this appearance, we're getting two new clone skins in the form of the 212th Attack Battalion and 41st Elite Corps, adding to the already substantial catalog of clone trooper appearances. The next big reveal from the CT is the announcement that Felucia will be added as a new location to Capital Supremacy later in 2019. That's more great news. Felucia is a fan favorite, and I'm sure it's going to look fantastic in BF2. One note here, I hope we see Felucia in more than just Capital Supremacy. If not a Galactic Assault map as well, at least give us a Blast in Heroes vs. Villains map. But before we get to Felucia, it looks like we will have some community quests coming in July with an opportunity to unlock new voice lines and animated poses. It's not a big deal, but it is a dangling carrot basically to keep players engaged. The upshot here is it's generally good news for BF2, and we can expect to see some new content through the summer and into early fall. With that said, this will make nearly a year of nothing but Clone Wars era content for the game. In some ways, this makes up for Battlefront 1 that was exclusively original trilogy, but at the same time, I wouldn't mind seeing some new content from one of the other eras. I'm not complaining, but there's certainly more left in the other eras. And that makes me ponder if this content is largely just keeping everyone interested in the Clone Wars until the release of the final episodes of the animated series coming this fall. Either way, it looks like I'm going to be playing for quite a while yet. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon.